I am aware that the title might sound provocative, but hear me out. We met when we were both 20 and quickly hit it off. We were young and more or less broke, so we both relied heavily on help from our parents. Our financial situations were about the same. But then, things changed. We both finished our degrees and got better jobs. However, my degree ended up earning me much more money. Don't get me wrong, nothing too crazy, but combined with my PhD course, I earn almost twice what he does. And that's when the trouble started. At first, it wasn't too bad, since we lived together. He asked me not to split the living costs 50-50 but proportionally to our incomes. Although technically unfair, it sounded logical to me, so I agreed. However, things went downhill from there. He started avoiding paying his share, claiming he always had no money. I ended up paying for all our dates. The first big argument came when I bought a new car. Nothing luxurious, but brand new and much more fun. He got angry, as he was driving something much older. First, he wanted me to help him buy a new one. Then he suggested I give him my car since I can afford another one anyway. Lastly, he wanted me to share mine. That was 3 times no from me. We had an argument, fought, and made up. Things got better. That was about a year ago. Then, a week ago, he asked me to join our bank accounts because we are endgame anyway. It's the default financial situation of both formal and long-term informal couples in my country. Initially, I agreed because, once again, it made sense. However, a day or two later, during dinner, he said, although he later claimed it was a joke, that maybe now he could afford to buy the stuff he wants. I lost it. I worked twice as many hours, and he just wants to take advantage while not trying to improve his situation whatsoever. I know what I did might seem like an overreaction, but I don't care. I said I am not going to live like that, being expected to pay for everything while he is out in a bar with friends or playing video games. He pointed out he does most of the chores, which is true, but once again, I am paying for almost everything, and he expects me to pay even more because he doesn't feel like doing more? I was done. I moved out the next day. From that moment, dead silence from both parties. I am done. I don't want any advice. I just wanted to vent. For 2 years, I, F/23, believed I had found my soulmate in him, M/24. We shared countless memories, dreams, and plans for the future. Little did I know, behind his charming smile and sweet words, he was hiding a web of lies. Yesterday, while staying at his apartment for a 2-week visit, I stumbled upon messages that shattered my world. He had been dating others while we were together. My heart sank as I read message after message, each one a dagger to my soul. The betrayal was too much to bear. I felt trapped, unable to leave due to financial constraints. The apartment, once a place of love and comfort, now felt like a prison. My mind raced with thoughts of anger and sadness. How could he do this to me? How could he waste 2 years of my life? As I lay awake, tears streaming down my face, I thought about revenge. Should I confront him and expose his deceit? Or should I silently disappear, blocking him from my life the moment I land back in my country? The thought of him realizing his mistake too late brought a small sense of satisfaction. After much contemplation, I decided that the best revenge is to live well. I will block him everywhere, erasing him from my life as if he never existed. I will focus on healing and rebuilding my life, stronger and wiser. He will be left wondering what happened, and that will be his punishment. What do you think? Do you feel ready to take the next steps?
We started dating when I was 17. She was my first love, and we became close friends before we started dating. We shared countless moments together, filled with fun and laughter. She knew me inside and out, saw me at my highest and lowest points, even stayed by my side when I nearly lost myself after a few drug-induced trips. I fully recovered, thanks to her unwavering support. One day, she called me with life-changing news. She was pregnant, and there were only 6 months to go. I was 19 then, and we were both expats in a foreign country. It took me 4 months to gather the courage to fly back and break the news to our parents. By then, she was 8 months pregnant. We married shortly after our first child was born and welcomed our second child in 2021. We understand each other deeply and are considered a happy couple. I run 2 successful companies and invest in new businesses. Despite all this, something feels off. She is an ex-gymnast, the captain of the national gymnastics team for 6 years. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. She is always there for me, but I can't shake the feeling that I can't be 100% genuine with her after all these years. I feel like my unpredictable and self-serving nature makes her hesitant to be the stronger one in our relationship when I am down or confused. Recently, I started dating another woman and fell in love with her. I know emotions can be fleeting, but I am convinced that this new woman is the one I want in my life. I plan to tell my wife when she returns from her vacation, but I can't understand why I feel this way. She gives me everything a great woman can offer, and I support her in every way, from little gestures to funding her projects. I've thought it through, even considering that my kids would have a stepdad in their lives, and I'm still determined to make this move. Our marriage seems perfect on the surface, with trust, commitment, love, and understanding, but my ambition to constantly grow out of self-imposed frameworks is slowly killing me. When I follow my ambition, it feels liberating. This is my story, filled with love, confusion, and the relentless pursuit of personal growth.
I moved into my apartment 2 years ago, and I often see my neighbors. We know each other's names. One neighbor has a 7-year-old child who is often outside alone. If his mom is out or inside with one of her boyfriends, she locks him outside until she's done. He's been sitting out alone for a while now, but today was particularly awkward. It's summer, and it's really hot. When I got home from work today, I saw him outside, looking hot and hungry. I felt bad for him and asked where his mom was. He said she was inside with her new boyfriend. Apparently, the boyfriend doesn't like the kid inside, so they put him outside for hours. As I went inside, he stopped me, asking if he could come into my apartment until his mom let him back in. He'd been outside for hours, and it was scorching. While I felt bad for him, letting a 7-year-old boy into my apartment would be highly inappropriate and could be seen as predatory. What's going on between him, his mother, and her boyfriend isn't my business. I told him no and to just sit until his mom let him back in. This was around 4 p.m., and his mom didn't let him back in until 11 p.m. I don't know if I made the right choice. It would have been creepy to let him in my place. What do you think? My boyfriend broke up with me. He ended it last night. He did it so sweetly, telling me to make sure I talked to someone and not be alone. I cried for hours and eventually caved, texting him again. It's so hard to miss someone I love so much. He's funny, reliable, and makes me feel safe. He gives great advice and is the person I usually turn to when I'm feeling down. He's like my best friend, and I can't even imagine not having him in my life without bursting into tears. I'm incredibly hurt. I haven't been able to sleep well. We usually say goodnight and sleep at the same time, but I couldn't stop thinking about him. Now I've got a massive headache, and I smell like I slept in my clothes because I did. I think I'll have to call in sick to work today. He was the reason I was working so much in the first place. I wanted to afford to spoil him, to go on a trip and fully pay for it. I keep wondering if I was bad at showing how much I love him. I'm going through a million ways that I wasn't good enough in my head. I realize that's not what he thinks, but at the end of the day, wouldn't I have been worth more hardship if I was just a little better? Maybe I was just too much of a burden, but he's too nice to ever admit it. I'm sorry for ranting like this. I honestly feel worthless and so alone right now. I just wanted to share some feelings.